If your minis don't look the way you imagine them in your head, it's not because of your lack of talent, but because nobody explains the little things that actually matter. So in this video, I'm going to show you some very simple and overlooked hacks I wish someone told me about when I first started painting.
Number 1. Be bolder with your base coat consistency. Most paints nowadays don't need as much water to properly flow off your brush. Number 2. Practice how this consistency feels under your brush. You should feel no resistance when you move the paint around on the palette, and you should cover 90 to 100% of the model. Of course, the coverage kind of depends on the color. Some colors are notoriously transparent or nasty. Number 3. Use a brush with a bigger belly to base coat. You're gonna store more paint and work faster. Number 4. Rinse your brush and reload every few minutes to avoid paint drying out on the tip. I see this often with my students. It's super cool to have a good reservoir, but paint eventually evaporates, and if you don't rinse it, you will no longer have control on what comes off your brush. You don't want that. Number 5. Roll your brush when you pick up the paint to make the point sharp. Number 6. Test how much liquid you have on the brush and test the type of mark a specific quantity of paint makes. The less paint you have on the brush, the more control you have, so remember to wick off the excess, but not too much. Number 7. When base coating, pay attention on how the brush bristle bends on the surface. This is called brush pressure, and it's going to determine the precision of your brush strokes, edge highlighting, and blending. So it's very important. Study and learn. Number 8. Applying less pressure with the brush ensure more precision, and the pigments are dragged softly around the surface, avoiding chalkiness and ugly ew.
If you struggle with blending and painting in general, and you want to learn more about consistency, brushwork, brush pressure, and whatnot, I made an entire painting course on just that. What a surprise! A deep dive I have no way of doing on a YouTube video, and that you won't find on YouTube. So improve, support the channel, check the link down in the description, and see you there. Let's move on to
Number 9. Always rest your mini painting hand on the other end for stability. Also, try to rest your forearm on the desk as well. Anything you can do to increase your posture quality. And this is pretty subjective, so you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. Number 10. For easy painting, build up solid blocks of fully opaque and matte base colors. Number 11. For building these highlight blocks, pick a color that's only slightly brighter than the previous one in order to make blending easier. Number 12. To easily define your miniatures, separate the different parts with reset shading or dark lining, picking a color that's a darker version of your base coat. Number 13. To figure out where to place the highlights, you can take a pic of the black prime mini with the lamp light hitting at 75 degrees, avoiding zenithal lighting, which is just ugly. Number 14. If you're tired of copying the highlights from the black primed picture, stop thinking just about cubes and cylinder, but start thinking about planes. Not the flying ones. Which planes of the miniatures are facing the light and which are facing the shadows. Please download my free cheat sheet that's gonna help you with just that you'll find in the link in the description. Number 15. To unlock the full potential of easy glazing, learn the concept of opacity and transparency, which is not binary but on a continuum. This means that every time within the paints of the base coat consistency, we are creating transparency, thus a glaze. Number 16. To blend two blocks, you just need to thin down the base coat to a strong glaze consistency. Number 17. Be mindful of the brushstroke direction, taking into account that a major pigment deposit happens at the end of the brushstroke. Number 18. For smooth dry brushing, keep the brush moist to avoid that dusty look. Yes, there is a little bit of moisture in dry brushing. Get over it! Number 19. Try using dry brushes in a different way. For example, I love using them to tap on the surface, producing these interesting marks. If you dilute the paint just a little, you can easily blend these marks with the previous layer, and it just looks pretty cool. Number 20. For smoother edge highlighting, practice lines on the plastic or strips in order to test the consistency and the brush pressure. More pressure equals thicker lines. Less pressure equals thinner lines. Duh. Number 21. Always use a little bit of yellow in your highlights to recreate that warm sun effect. Number 22, balance the color temperature of highlights and shadows with warm and cold tones. So if you painted a cold highlight, I'd try to choose a warm shadows and vice versa. Number 23, do the same thing for saturation, aka how vibrant your color is. Just take into consideration that because of the luminosity, highlights will always tend to be a little bit more desaturated. And finally, number 24, if in the highlight process your mini looks like it lost a little bit of color, use a wash glaze, even a contrast paint glaze to add richness.
If you paint and practice keeping these things in mind, I bet my pinky fingers you will start seeing real results on your miniatures. But you still need to learn and practice something else. Blending techniques. Luckily for you, I have an entire playlist here that's gonna teach you some hidden and underrated blending techniques that are actually pretty easy to practice and learn. So I'll see you there. Pass me there. It's like a compilation, so it's different timings and different means.